What if the moment you feel the most overwhelmed, the most reactive, the most tempted to shut down or run away is actually the moment your healing is asking for leadership? Not performance, not perfectionism, leadership. Because for most of us, no one taught us how to lead ourselves through pain. We learned how to push through it, hide it, spiritualize it, numb it, outwork it, or blame ourselves for it. But today, we're doing something radically different. We're learning how to move forward, not from fear, not from pressure, not from survival, but from alignment. Welcome to the It's Your Story to Tell podcast. I'm your host, Megan Babcock. If you're listening to this episode and didn't listen last week, I want to invite you to just pause this episode and go back, because understanding the power of taking an honest look in the mirror and getting curious about your patterns can break self-sabotage and become a step forward to the life you were created for. Today, we're building on that foundation. Let's just take a quick recap through last episode. We talked about pausing and grounding. And in this pause, it's to assess, look around your environment and ask questions like, am I safe right now? Do I need to respond immediately? Because when you're triggered, your body often reacts from perceived threat, not actual danger. Trauma imprints the nervous system. Your body can respond to tone, facial expressions, silence, criticism, or uncertainty as if your survival is at stake. Grounding tells your body, I'm here. This is now. I'm not back there anymore. Then we talked about taking your thoughts captive and measuring them against the fruit of the Spirit. Not to shame yourself into changing them, but to assess your internal state. The presence of love, peace, joy, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, those are indications of being regulated. Dysregulation, that looks like fear, panic, rage, shutdown, urgency. And those are signaling that you are in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, your brain shifts away from your prefrontal cortex, the part that's responsible for reasoning and empathy, decision-making, and long-term thinking, into your limbic system, where fight, flight, freeze, and fawn live. So, this is not weakness, it's biology. Are you tired of repeating the same patterns, feeling stuck in your story, and wondering if real change is even possible? In my book, Unstuck, Break Free from What's Holding You Back and Create a Life You Love, I walk you through the path from survival to transformation, blending faith, neuroscience, and soul-deep healing. This book, it's not just words on a page. It's a companion for your journey. Whether you've experienced trauma or just feel lost in the noise of life, Unstuck will meet you there with truth, compassion, and tools that actually work. It's time to stop surviving and start living your story with purpose. Grab your copy today on Amazon. Then we talked about some of the science behind curiosity and how being able to pause and get curious, it's not just a mindset. It's a scientifically supported tool to help you regulate. And one of those tools that I introduced to you was the 5 whys. Because when you get curious instead of judgmental, you activate your prefrontal cortex and you calm the amygdala, where the brain's alarm system is going off. Research in interpersonal neurobiology shows that reflective awareness, what Daniel Siegel calls mind sight, literally integrates the brain. It's linking the emotional centers with reasoning centers so you can process instead of react. So curiosity shifts from what's wrong with me to what happened here. And this shift matters because judgment, that activates shame. Shame activates threat, and threat activates survival. So curiosity is literally breaking the cycle by activating learning, which activates regulation, and then regulation restores choice. Studies also show how curiosity increases our dopamine, which is the neurotransmitter associated with motivation, learning, and engagement. So it's not just calming you, it's energizing you in a constructive way. And trauma research, it confirms something powerful. Trauma freezes narratives and curiosity thaws them. When you ask, why am I acting this way? You're not just excusing the behavior. You're seeking understanding, and it can uncover beliefs. Things like, I'm not safe if people are upset with me. My worth depends on my performance. Conflict means abandonment. If I rest, everything will fall apart. These beliefs made sense at some point, but now they are likely keeping you stuck, and I'm guessing they're not really serving you. So curiosity is letting you update your internal operating system. So that was asking a question all around why. The next question that we moved into was, what do I need right now? This is where self-compassion becomes regulation. Research by Dr. Kristen Neff shows it reduces your cortisol, increases your emotional resilience, and improves motivation. So when you meet yourself with kindness, your nervous system shifts towards safety, and safety is where healing happens. You stop abandoning yourself and you start connecting with yourself. Those needs might be, I need some space, I need water, rest. Maybe it's movement, prayer, connection. Maybe you need to have boundaries. Maybe you needed validation. When you understand what your needs are and you start meeting those needs, you begin to stabilize and move forward intentionally. Today, we're going to take a step further. We're going to move below the why, below the what, and now to the how. How do I move forward in alignment with my purpose? When you're in survival, purpose feels distant, maybe even irrelevant. Your brain is focused on short-term safety, not long-term vision. But purpose is what fuels sustainable change. Having a why allows you to do the hard work. For me, my why became painfully clear. I no longer wanted to hurt my kids. I wanted to be emotionally stable, present, safe, and able to guide them, not to react at them. And I realized something sobering. If I wanted them to live differently, I had to live differently first. That carried me through discomfort, grief, and accountability. And as I walked this process, God began to reveal things that needed healing and redemption. He wasn't shaming me, but He was allowing me to see things because you can't heal what you won't reveal. He wanted to set me free, and He wants me to live in freedom. And that means I have to continually be measuring my choices, my feelings, my actions, so that I don't continue to live in this cycle that is keeping me from all that I was created to be. What if your breakthrough wasn't found in striving, but in walking? What if clarity, healing, and direction came not in the hustle, but in quiet, intentional steps led by the Spirit? Sacred Pathways is a monthly walking mentorship designed to align your body, soul, and spirit with the wisdom of God. Each month, you'll receive 12 walking lessons. These are short teachings designed to be experienced on the move. You'll also get one live group session and access to a community of women committed to walking in purpose. This is more than a routine, it's a rhythm of renewal, a sacred invitation to process life with God, one step at a time. If you're hungry for deeper intimacy with the Lord, clarity in your calling, and healing that moves through your whole being, this is your path. Join Sacred Pathways and start walking in wisdom today. Now enrolling on itsyourstorytotell.com. This relieved my victim mindset that I didn't even know that I was carrying. It revealed the beliefs that kept me stuck and the patterns that were rooted in fear. As a trauma survivor myself, I know acknowledging your own choices can feel overwhelming. To say, I made some choices that got me into this situation is hard, but it's also where freedom begins. Slowly, I started to see that beneath my anger, there was pain, and beneath the people pleasing was fear. Beneath my achievement was a desperate need for worth. And beneath all of it, bitterness, unprocessed hurt that was poisoning me from the inside. And God wanted to walk me forward through 3 powerful steps. Forgiveness. And this is not reconciliation. Research shows forgiveness reduces your stress hormones, improves your cardiovascular health, and lowers anxiety and depression. Forgiveness frees your body from chronic threat. It does not say what happened was okay. It says, I will not carry this anymore. This one was a really big one for me, and it was hard for me to understand God's design of forgiveness. I thought I was practicing forgiveness. I was turning the other cheek, forgiving 70 times 7, and never holding any boundaries. And I also was not letting things go. I was trying to control them. And God showed me that I wasn't really living out His design for forgiveness. It was to release that bitterness. And in that, I needed to take some additional steps. One of those was letting go. Letting go is surrendering control. Control feels safe after trauma, but long term, it's exhausting and unsustainable. Letting go might mean releasing the need to fix others, the need for approval, the need to prove your worth, the fantasy of how things should have been. And grief is often a part of letting go. But grief is also movement, experiencing it, seeing that life is something different than what you have been hoping for allows you to make new and different decisions. And part of those decisions is being able to have boundaries. Now, I went from having no boundaries to saying I can't have this in my life. I swung the pendulum the other way. That's part of growing. That's part of understanding, okay, maybe I didn't need to be that harsh in my boundary. Maybe I could start here and say no to this and see how this person responds before I just cut them out of my life. Boundaries are for us and they protect our own healing. They're not a punishment of other people in your life. And it's really about stewarding who you are and who God created you to be. And when you have healthy boundaries, you can lower your stress, relationships improve, and you increase in your self-respect. They allow you to love without losing yourself. What we've been talking about is the why, what, how process that God walked me through. I didn't know it at the time, but this process is integration. And that happens when different parts of your brain, body, and story begin to work together instead of against each other. In neuroscience, integration means linking emotional, cognitive, and sensory processes so experiences can be understood and processed rather than stored as threat. When trauma is unresolved, memories remain fragmented. They're stored in the body, your sensations, your emotional flashes, and even your intrusive thoughts. Practices like curiosity, using that why questioning, compassion, what do I need? And how do I move forward in forgiveness, grounding, boundaries, all help the brain to reprocess those memories safely. Integration leads to greater emotional regulation, increased resilience, improved relationships, reduces your anxiety and reactivity, and gives you a stable sense of self. In short, integration is the foundation of well-being. It's how you move from surviving to thriving in who you were created to be. I know that's a lot, and I know it can be hard when you're having to look at your own role in understanding how you are in this place. And I think that's enough for today. Thanks for being here with me today and for being brave, asking the hard questions, and allowing God to reveal to you an area that He wants to heal and the next steps to be able to move yourself forward. Remind yourself that you're moving toward a dream, even if you can't see it clearly yet. Healing is not linear. Growth does not happen in an instant, but with every honest step forward, you are getting closer to who you were created to be. If this episode was helpful or you know someone struggling, will you share this so that more people can have tools to help them navigate with love and compassion so that they can break free from what's keeping them stuck and move forward to the life that they were created for? Remember, your story matters, your healing matters, and the life you were created for is not out of reach, even if it feels that way right now. Thanks for being here. I look forward to talking to you next week as we talk about part 3 of getting unstuck and creating a life you love.